Watch out, Hordak. She's gonna get you.
Shadow Weaver is gonna turn you into a big green frog with purple spots. Shadow Weaver is gonna turn you into a big green frog.
Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd, and today it is time to open Shadow Weaver from the cartoon collection. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story about Shadow Weaver before we jump into this. So, a long time ago, in a galaxy far away, okay, not too far away, they made a whole bunch of awesome He-Man figures back in the 80s and early 90s, and they were really cool, but they never ever made Shadow Weaver or Queen Marlena. And both Queen Marlena and Shadow Weaver had a very similar type skirt situation going on, or dress situation. So if they made one, they could have made the other using shared parts. And I remember there was this guy online, and this guy online, he made an awesome Shadow Weaver. Let me get the pause button off here. How do I back out of here? All these newfangled, there we go. And so, this was actually a box version of his Shadow Weaver, but I wanted the Shadow Weaver so bad. I remember just thinking if I could just get the money together, and I believe she was like a crazy amount of money, like $450 or $400 or some crazy. I don't remember what it was. I just remember the amount being way beyond my price range. Whatever the price range was, it was well beyond what I could afford. But she was so cool. And the same guy, he also made Queen Marlena. Now, back in the day, there were three figures that I wanted more than anything. And it was Shadow Weaver, Queen Marlena, and Hero. And those are the three figures on my list that I just desperately wanted. Of course, the Giants fell in there too, but not quite as strong as a pole. But just look how cool this custom figure was back in the day. And remember, 3D printers were not a thing then. So this was all hand sculpted and made by making molds and, casting resin parts in the mold. And I just thought it was amazing. Amazing! Anyway, I did not ever get her. Years and years later, we got a Shadow Weaver in Classics. But this Shadow Weaver had a special catch to make life harder to get her. And that was you had to buy a whole year's worth of figures in the club. It wasn't Club Grayskull back then. I forgot what they called it. I don't know, but it was the Maddie Collector Club. And if you paid for or bought a whole year's worth, then you got her as a bonus figure, but you had to pay for it too. So it wasn't a free bonus figure. It was, you now had the rights to buy one. So you couldn't buy 10, 30, whatever you wanted to do to, sell them or whatever. You could only get one. So if you wanted multiples of her, you had to buy multiples of the year's releases. So she became a super rare, expensive figure because you had to buy so many in order to get just this one figure. You had to buy so many of the other figures. Now, she did come with a clear stand. Yep. And she does come with a cool green book that I don't have sitting out here right now. And she has some pretty cool articulation. A weird articulation is this point right here. It's just kind of a weird deal. I never really use it. Usually I just keep her standing. And her base has no articulation either. Once you put her on there, she only stands. So basically, you have waist movement, and then the arm movements, and the head movement. But usually with Shadow Weaver, you don't do a lot with her. I do like to lean her forward and have her actually fly like she's leaning to go a certain way. But being that the base is not articulated, I just always just set her on the ground. Otherwise, she was too tall. Once you added the base... Oh, I knocked my light around. You would tighten that down. There we go. Let me grab a He-Man figure. He-Man. Once you put the base on her, she became so much taller. It was just kind of a weird deal where she was kind of looking down upon everybody. Anyway, so baseless for her. And then we had Super 7. And Super 7 gave us some really cool releases. They gave us this Filmation version right here, which is still for sale right now, I believe, on Big Bad Toy Store. It's just so crazy she didn't sell out. And They didn't put articulation point here, which we don't need really, but you can see her legs kind of cross over, which is really cool. She looks like she's solid, but she's not. She has a piece down here, and she also has a removable piece. It's really easy to take in and out, which is nice. And they added some black in here as well. And she is a little skinnier and a little more shapely, and she has no nose. This one here, you can see, she's got the nose. She's got the nose. But on this one here, no nose. Because we know Shadow Weaver was actually Light. What was her name? Oh, I forgot her name. But she was originally a human character. And I just really like this figure a lot. It's got a lot of articulation. It's a little weird because the articulation sometimes breaks up the parts of the cloth, but it's still a very, very cool, awesome figure. So she has 2 points of spinning right here, which is right under her rubber skin, and then way up here on her chest. So I guess there is an articulation point. Wow, that's so weird. It's just her rubber just spins right there. Oh, she's got a lot of movement there. Oh, look at that. It's the belt. Separates it. Oh, that is clever. Okay, that is clever, Super 7. I really like that articulation point. Whew. Didn't even know that. I've had this figure for how long? Anyway, like I said, I think she's still for sale on Big Bad Toy Store. Crazy, crazy things. And then Super 7 gave us this. Bum, 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 bum. Now, I ended up buying her a couple times because for some reason, the prototype figure had shoulder joints that would move up. And so it looked like these shoulder joints on here. And someone goes, no, that's how it is. So I bought another one, and sure enough, it didn't do it. It still just goes up and down this way. But still, this is so reminiscent of that figure that I wanted for so long. Let's get to there we go. No, I don't want to add it. I just want to zoom up. There we go. And it's so reminiscent of that figure, but it's actually made better. If you look at the little face right here on this one, and it just kind of ruins, let me turn this light off, it's just blinding it. It just kind of ruins the shape of the face, where this one looks, stop. There we go. And the horde symbol on this one is more like a stencil horde symbol, where on this one here, it's actually got more shape to it. And I just think that Super 7 did an amazing job on this figure. And of course, because Super 7 did such an awesome job on this figure, she sold out very quick. Because this filled our 5 1/4 inch figures we had as kids that we were waiting for forever. And then on top of it, she's just awesome. She has a spring waist. And a cool cape. And of course the same leg draped across, just like the larger size. So this one, still for sale, did not sell very good for some crazy reason. This one sold out and the price skyrocketed on Fleabay. So there you go. And now, without further ado, we have the Origins one. No way! So here's the Origins one. Another official release of Shadow Weaver. And it shows other figures in the line, Whiplash, Shadow Weaver, and Bo. And this is based on the Filmation cartoon, which, of course, they kind of all are, because, that's all we had. We didn't have a toy version of it. Now, I do have to admit, this one here I kind of laughed at, because the color was the same as Orko for the release, which kind of cracked me up. But, I forgot to show one. Psh, look at this one. Look at this one. This is the Masterverse version. And I really love the Masterverse version too. One thing that's weird is it has a little thing to put on it. Is it has articulation for the dress pieces inside, but to make it work, they did a split. Now, I'm not a fan of the split, but straight on, it looks really good. But she has a nice horde belt. She has articulation up here. She has good arms. They did a good mix of the cloth, so it doesn't have the weird joints like the other ones did. And great articulation. Excellent job, Mattel. So let's break this down. Okay, So we have the Mattel release by Maddie Collector, which was made by the Four Horsemen. Beautiful sculpt. First release of an actual figure that came to market and it wasn't a custom. Then we had Super 7, who knocked it out of the park twice. Not just once, but twice, by giving us both the 5.5 that we've wanted for years and years, and also a Filmation one. For some reason didn't sell very good, but was still awesomely amazing. And then, after Super 7 released theirs, we then got the Mattel again, and this time it was in-house created, and for their Masterverse line. And I'm not sure how well she sold. I don't know if she's still for sale or not, but still, excellent figure. They added some cool lines on here to give it some more texture look. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And now we go back to our new one here. Let's see. Let me put this with her so I don't lose who gets what. Yeah, that snaps on. Oh, look at this too. They actually articulated the base. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So now I can have her fling forward like I was telling you, having her fly really fast, going through Snake Mountain or something, or the Horde area, or whatever she's flying through. You can have her fly sideways and do some crazy stuff. So, good job on the articulation point. Have her fly back like she got hit with something, woo, or trying to stop really fast. Anyway, I like when they have the bases articulated like that. It gives you so much more play feature. All right. Finally, let's go ahead and get to the Shadow Weaver, Evil Mistress of Dark Magic. Boom, 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 boom. Now, she's the one that held the spell over She-Ra that kept her in check back before she was She-Ra, when she was still just Adora. And basically mind controlled Adora and put her into a trance type state, so she didn't even care about going back to Eternia. Didn't even know she was from Eternia. Didn't even know she had a twin brother or a family there that loved her. She just thought she somehow belonged to the Horde for her whole entire life. And Shadow Weaver is the one who blinded her to the evils going around all around her. So that is the story. Let's go ahead and open this figure. It's funny, they show her a nice dark burgundy, kind of red, but she's kind of pinkish. Compared to all the figures, she has kind of a pink hue to her. Let me turn my light back on. Oh, it died. Luckily, I have a spare light. You see these cool lights right here? Let me stick on my spare. I went and grabbed it from work the other day so I can have it for here at home for the weekend. Look at that. Woo! All right. I got it from the office. Anyway, let's get her open. Now, some would say, save that box, don't rip it apart, it's pretty cool, put her back in there, and they'll very carefully cut this open and slide it out or something else, but I don't care. I am just going to rip her open. I have no intention of putting her back in the box, but I wish they'd make all the boxes resealable like we saw with that He-Man and Skeletor yesterday. That was pretty cool. Open. There we go. Let's get her out of there. Okay, so this may sound weird. I never really watched the She-Ra cartoon, per se. I know the storyline. I've watched Secret of the Sword many times with my daughter and granddaughters and stuff. So I know that storyline pretty good. But as far as the actual She-Ra cartoon, I don't know it super well. Oh, they got a New Adventures mixture here. That's the New Adventures ship. What the heck is going on here? What a weird looking Skeletor. Anyway, I'll check that out later. Let's see what's removable and what's not. Probably the same old. So her whole entire body section, bottom half's removable. Her arms come off, her hands come off, and her head comes off. Alright, let's get her out of here. Nope. She has her same spellbook just like Classics had. Very cool, which is a Filmation design. It was actually used in more than one Filmation cartoon, this exact same book design. And she has her staff. Alright, let's get her out of here. I gotta bring small scissors in this room. Keep having these giant Herkin scissors for sewing or something. You know what? I just realized something. I have a whole bunch of small scissors that I bought from Amazon. Look at that. I got tons of these in here. Keep away from children. Now I bought these because I use these to cut plastic when I heat it up. But I can use these to cut these little dilly bobs too. Oh, almost got the cape. Whoo, I was close. There we go. Now it's weird, she's so small looking. She almost reminds me of a Star Wars figure when I was a kid because my hands are so much bigger. She does feel a lot smaller than the Super 7 5.25 or 5.5 release. Alright, so let's take a look at her, break down her articulation. She's got a big hollow area. She doesn't have a floaty thing. She has a spot for a floaty thing. Did I miss it? Did I drop it? Did I throw it over here? Nope. How crazy. They designed a spot, but they didn't put one in there. They must have ran out of money for how much she cost to produce to give us a small little floaty stand. Yoop. There we go, and I have an articulated one. I just stuck the stand from Classics on there. It doesn't actually go all the way in there, but it holds her up a little bit. It's kind of ridiculous. Oh wait, I'll get rid of that. We will hold off till later. All right, so articulation. Her waist turns, and her elbow moves, and her shoulder moves, all different directions, and her hand moves up and down. There we go. And the other hand moves back and forth. So it's like she has the same hands as She-Ra then. See, look, they don't look like She-Ra's hands. Not just because they're green, but they look more old. And then her head moves. And she's got a cape that's actually hard and not soft. But I expected it to be hard. Now, the nice things, they did paint the inside of her sleeves black. That's a nice touch. You can see with Classics, they didn't do that. But they did do that with... oh, they didn't do it with the 5.5 there, but they did do it with the Super 7 here. And then, of course, with Masterverse, they didn't do it either because it's all cloth. So, there we go. And she is rather pink. Which is funny, because again, she looks pretty close to the same color as Orko. Not exactly. Her belt is, though. But Orko's kind of a little lighter color, too, in the Filmation version than she was. I wonder if Orko's stand. Here's the Super 7 Orko, just for comparison. And look at that, they kind of match the color there too. That is funny how they all kind of do that. All right, but here's an Orko stand I made. Nope, it doesn't fit up there either. Oh well. Oh well. So, let's get back to business. I think she is amazing, and let's compare her to other figures in the line. Give her that. Give her book. And you got to bend her thumb more to get her to hold on to it. It's got something in there. Okay, it's just squiggly lines. It's like a landmass. Some kind of smoke spirit over there. I don't know. I don't know. It's like a guitar. All right. So, let's compare her next to Thunder Kick Tila. Okay, well, Thunder Kick Tila is not a good example to compare her against because Thunder Kick Tila is one of my customs that does not fit the right height, but I think she's actually the right height. It's just, let's get a real Tila. A real Tila. There we go. And she fits in really nicely with the line. So that's cool. That is so cool. Now, I know you're probably kind of laughing because you're like, doesn't this guy hate Hordak? Yes, I am not a fan of Hordak. Everyone knows that. But I like the Horde. The Horde's got a lot of cool creatures and monsters and fun things for He-Man to fight. All right, let's put her next to this four-legged dude. Of course, he's quite a bit bigger in most of our classics, or most of our classics, Origins figures anyway. We'll get the blue Hordak. Ha! Blue Hordak. More than meets the eye. And he's quite a bit taller. What? That's right, I forgot that some figures... Let's pull out Clawful. He's a little taller. Ah, chop, 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 chop. All right. Oh, stop falling. Why is my Hordak so tall? Wow, he's even taller than Clawful. What the heck is going on? I think, does he have a Filmation body? You know what? It may be. I thought this was a Hurricane Hordak. It's not. It's got regular Hordak armor on. This is just a regular body from oh, what is his name? Web store. And I just put some Hordak boots and Hordak armor on him, and Hordak head. All right, I have an unaltered Skeletor here. Oh, Skeletor, you got a little too much there. That's so weird. It must be Hordak's giant head. It's just his big old fat head that makes him look taller. Stand, man, stand. All right, very cool. All right, so what I want to know from you guys, are you guys planning on getting her? Did you miss out and she's gone now? I haven't looked to see if they've sold out or not, but she's a definite must-have. Now, she's not in my top 11, which I'm surprised she's not, because she is so cool. But you guys know there's figures that I find really cool, like Cyclone, that are not in my type 11 also, or top 11 also. But as you can see, I've had the quest for this figure for many, 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 many years. And I'm really torn because I so loved this Super 7 release. But again, with this shoulders going up and down, it's just not a lot of playability. But she does have the fun spring feature. But you know what my problem is? Here's my problem. Is yesterday, as you guys know, I opened up that He-Man and Skeletor. Let me grab them right here. There is Skeletor. And here is Flea Man. Oh, I lost Skeletor's sword somewhere on my desk. And these figures are not articulated like Origins. And they don't have a lot of articulation. Just 5 points. 5 points of articulation, right? Or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 points of articulation. And when I opened these, the nostalgia I felt opening these was so amazingly awesome. It's like hard to explain. I don't know where that sword is. It's somewhere on my desk. Yeah. And the Origins, I love the articulation. Don't get me wrong. They're so cool, the same size as the He-Man figures, but they just don't have the biceps right. And there's just other little things too. They just don't have that same nostalgic feeling when I hang on to these. And what's crazy is when I first got my Origins, I had the same nostalgic feeling I had with these. Not quite as strong, but still pretty strong. But for some reason, Origins, I just don't have that. And You would think I would, because they look like them. It's just they have more articulation points. I just don't understand what goes on in my brain to make me have so much more feeling for this figure with no or hardly any articulation, as opposed to these super articulated figures. So that brings me to these two. Okay, so now as we look at this figure here is far superior. It has lots of articulation. It's got wrist joints that move. It's got all kinds of coolness to it. But it doesn't have that, I don't know. It's just, this reminds me of my childhood. It only has a little bit of movement, not a lot to it. It does have the cool spring punch. And this is the figure I dreamed about getting for years. And so, I don't know. It's just mind-boggling. Now, if I was to show these today to some kid, like my grandkids, and said, which one do you think's better? They'll pick this one probably every single time, hands down. I'm going to try it, actually. I'm going to have some fun just to see. Now, granted, when it comes to articulated figures, the Masterverse figure is amazing. It's got cloth goods. It has lots of movement. The Super 7 figure comes in really close to an amazing figure. And then, of course, this one here is so cool because it's the first Shadow Weaver that was released. So these other ones have their place in history, which all make good sense. But for some reason, I am just drawn more to the stupid Super 7 little articulation than I am to the brand new Origins figure. And I don't think it's the color. I think it just has to do with this is what I imagined. Now, this is a little bit too shiny. I wish they would have just toned it down a little bit, because their first batch of figures they released for the line was just like ultra shiny for some crazy reason. But I don't know. What are your guys' opinion? I've been jabbering for a long time about this. And a lot of you guys are like me. You had the original toys as a kid. Does this one hold like a super strong nostalgia even though we never owned it because it feels and acts like the toys we had as a kid? Or is this one right here much more superior and you're like, no, I just need that one. I don't need that one. That's obsolete now this one has come out. I mean, even the head on this is better formed and better made than this head here. It's just a better figure all around. I just don't know. It's just so weird. I mean, this looks like the Orca when you were a kid, the bottom of it even. I don't know. I'm confused. It's almost like having a 57 Mustang and having a brand new, and people are going to freak out, Tesla. Okay, imagine before the Elon Musk scandal, Tesla. So we have the new high-tech, well-built, high efficiency, and then we have the old nostalgic 57 Chevy. Well, I know I'm going to keep them separate because one's going to go inside my box for all of my 80s figures that I have. So I'm going to keep her, obviously. But I'm going to keep her too because she fits into my Origins line. But even last night, I was kind of having a little bit of a crisis moment when after I was off camera and I was getting ready to put these guys away. It's like, where do I put these? Do I put them in with my 80s figures? Do I keep them separate on the shelf, just kind of as a cool little homage to the old 80s figures? And I started thinking, it's like, do I really even care about Origins anymore? Do I really even need to keep my top 12 Origins as I'm looking at all my old figures and having that nostalgic feeling looking at them? And I just started thinking, is Origins going to even be my thing in the near future? I don't know. Now I'm jabbering way too long. People are probably going, I'm done at this guy, and turning me off. But I want to know your guys' opinion. Am I crazy? Or is there really a nostalgic bond? Or are just the old style figures with the 6 points of articulation just more fun? Or am I just totally, completely bonkers? Anyway, give me your opinion on all the crazy stuff I've covered today. And especially about Shadow Weaver. If you're planning on getting her, if you got her, what you think of her. I want to know. And I guess that's pretty much all that I have. And Thunderkick Tila says, ha! Good journey! All right. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Bye now.
If you found enjoyment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Do it.